What's up guys, it's Nick here at Fantasy Forge Miniatures, and today I'm going to be showing you the tools that you need to get started building terrain like this. So I'm going to show you guys the supplies that I use to build miniature terrain. Now I'm going to start by showing you the stuff that you can find at the dollar store. Then I'm going to show you the things that I've upgraded from the dollar store, and then I'm going to show you the equipment that you can't find at the dollar store. But I like to preface the whole video by saying you can get started building miniature terrain for just $15 at your dollar store. It's a super accessible hobby, so go out, buy these supplies, and get building some great terrain. So the first item on the list is a hot glue gun. Now this is going to be your bread and butter of gluing together your builds. And I know some people that use white glue to glue the models together, but I find that's a little bit slow, and the hot glue gun is fast and easy. Now the con of a hot glue gun is the strings, but I got some techniques that I'm going to put in a different video on how to avoid that. So pick up a hot glue gun and some hot glue sticks. Next, you're going to need some foam core. Now this is called Ready Board, and it is foam core with paper that's glued with a low adhesion glue, so it's meant to peel away. And it'll peel away very easily, exposing the foam core on the inside, which you can then easily texture and cut. So be sure to get the brand Ready Board. Now this is going to make up almost 100% of your build, so grab a couple sheets. So the next thing on the list is going to be a knife to cut that styrofoam with. Now you can grab a larger box cutter or a medium-sized one from the dollar store for just a couple of bucks, or you can grab an X-Acto knife for $4, and it comes with a cutting mat. Now that's going to lead us right into the next thing you're going to need is a cutting mat. Now the ones that come with these are smaller, but they'll get you by. But you might want to invest in a larger size cutting mat because you do a lot of cutting of the styrofoam when you're building miniature terrain, and it's always a really good investment because it really becomes your workspace. So grabbing a cutting mat is key. So you're going to want to be able to cut straight lines on your styrofoam, so grab yourself a ruler. Now you're going to want to make sure it's made out of metal, because plastic or wooden rulers will tend to chip and cut into them when you're using your knife. So you're going to want to make sure it's made out of metal. Now you can also get one that has cork on the back. This helps for gripping the styrofoam so your ruler doesn't wiggle around and ruin your cut. So go ahead and grab yourself a ruler. So the three main textures you'll probably be using on your builds is stone, stucco, and wood. Now you can achieve these textures with just some dollar store items like tin foil. So you can crumple some tin foil up into a ball, roll it onto your styrofoam, and you're going to get some great stone and stucco texturing. So grab a roll of tin foil. And then for wood, you can just use some steel brushes. Again, you can grab these in a pack of 3 at the dollar store, and all you're going to do is grab that steel brush and just drag it along your styrofoam, and you're going to get some great wood textures. Now if you'd like to know some more about my texturing technique, I've got a whole video on my YouTube here that you can check out. So you're going to want to make that terrain look pretty, and you're going to need some paint. So go ahead and grab a couple of bottles of the colors that you need. This is Apple Barrel from the dollar store. It's great paint. It is a bit limited on its color selections there, but they give you all the colors that you need to be able to mix up any color that you want. So go ahead and grab some paint to cover that terrain. So you're going to want to be able to apply the paint, so grab yourself some paint brushes. Now they come in large variety packs or artisan packs. Either way, they're really cheap, and you don't have to worry about taking care of them because they're from the dollar store, so you can go and grab some more. So go ahead and grab yourself some paint brushes. So now I'm going to segue from materials that you can buy at the dollar store, but for ones that I've kind of upgraded to either other brands or stores. So to start with, I'm going to talk about Mod Podge Matte. Now this is what I use to base coat my terrain in. I mix in some black paint, and that's what I use to base coat. You can get this at the dollar store. It comes in these really small bottles, and I find you burn through it really quickly. So I opt to grab this at either a Michael's or Amazon. I just get a nice big jug of it. So the next thing that I've upgraded from the dollar store is paint. So you can go ahead and use the Apple Barrel paint. It's great, like I said though, it's really limited on color, and I just find folk art to be a really great alternative because it's not a lot much more expensive. It comes in a crazy range of colors. You can get it from Michael's or Walmart or Amazon, and it's just really good quality for the price. One thing to look out for though is just make sure that you're getting matte acrylic paint. because it'll make your train look really weird if you're getting satin or high gloss paint, unless that's what you're going for. But I'd say just look out, and typically you're going to want to go with matte paint. So the final tool that I've upgraded from the dollar store is my hot glue gun. Now, I've used my dollar store hot glue gun for a very long time before I upgraded, and it worked great. So don't feel the need to get a new hot glue gun. But I got this Topolex hot glue gun. It has a fine tip nozzle, and it just heats a little bit better. So I find that I can get a smaller stream of hot glue as well as it heats better. So that's the reason why I upgraded. You can get other hot glue guns that have heat control, and there's a lot of good options. So if you're really getting into the hobby, it's definitely an investment. You use it all the time. So now on to some tools that you can't find at the dollar store. So to start off is the Hot Wand foam cutter. You can pick this up for like $20 off of Amazon, and I use it all the time. You can get it with different extensions, so you can use the tool in different ways. And I use it to, carve up styrofoam and get a lot of really cool textures with this. So this is a key piece that I use on all my builds. So it's the Hot Wand foam cutter. So I talked about using foam core for almost 100% of your build, and you can definitely do that, but you can also add some XPS foam. It's just insulation foam. You can find it at your local hardware store, and this is great for doing all kinds of terrain pieces. You can carve it up and texture it into large pieces, or use it like me. I use it for smaller details that I glue onto the structural piece that I build out of the foam core. So there's a lot of options, and it's a very common material to use in the miniature terrain building world. And finally, the tool that was the largest investment for me, but it also is the best investment, is the Proxxon hot wire table. This is going to be an amazing addition to your setup. It's incredible. It makes milling out pieces incredibly fast. You get an extreme level of detail and precision with this tool, and there's a lot of companies like Shifting Lands that make jigs for it, that make cutting circles and doing all kinds of designs in your foam really easy. It's going to be a big investment. It was a couple $100, but it's been extremely worth it and saved me hours of time. You can keep using just a regular knife to cut up and carve your foam, but you aren't going to be able to get the precision and speed you can with a Proxxon hot wire table. So this I saved the best for last. I love this tool. I can't imagine crafting without it. You don't need it to get started, but if you're really getting into it, it's a great piece of equipment to have. So some honorable mention tools that I use are the heat gun, which I use to speed up paint drying or melt the foam in a unique way, as well as the airbrush, which I use to obviously paint and get some good coverage. But these are tools that I don't use on every single build, but I use them to experiment with some different techniques. So that's my list of tools and supplies I use to build my miniature terrain. Go ahead and peruse the dollar store and grab a couple of random items and incorporate them into your build, or use them to make some different textures. It's all about experimenting and trying new things. That's the beauty of this hobby. So if you found this video helpful, like, share, subscribe, you know the drill. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, keep on crafting.